I didn't make it to heaven on the rapture. So I fall asleep and I go to sleep and then the dream starts. And then all of a sudden I start seeing the moon. I see like 5 or 6 moons. I don't know why. Like, they're all just like moving and it's like forming into like something. And they're different colors too. And then all of a sudden chaos breaks loose. Just the plane crashes, people are screaming, all kinds of just craziness. And then the sky, it opens and I can see, and I know this is God. I know this is Jesus, and he's just there, and he just starts dropping. It was almost like he was dropping down like the robe or the key to heaven for something. I don't know what this was, right? He's dropping them down, and as he's dropping them down, I can see people get pulled up. And they're like up, they're like, oh my gosh. And I see just a plethora of people get pulled up with the Spirit of the Lord, and he's coming. It's the rapture. And I see them he's just pulling them up. I'm like, oh my gosh. And like, it's this ray of light. It's the just most beautiful light I could ever see. Like, I don't even know how. It was amazing. And as it's happening, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's the rapture. And I see this girl directly in front of me. I don't know why I saw this girl. I remember exactly who it is. This girl that I goes to school around me. And I see her, and she looks, and she's like, oh my gosh, I made it. And she gets pulled up. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And I'm looking, I'm like, God, where are you, God? God, where are you? And then it stops. And then all of a sudden, I see this big, just humongous thing in the sky. Just this big, like, beautiful, glorious, like, gate open. And then I hear the like, you know, like when it's in the cartoons or whatever, and it was golden. I could see just the brightest, beautifulest light as these gates are opening, and the people are going into heaven. They're going into heaven, and I'm watching it, and I know that I missed out. I'm like, oh my goodness. I was like, wow, like I didn't make it to heaven on the rapture. I didn't get pulled up. And my friend Abraham, he's in front of me. He's like, man, I got to talk to God. Why did I get pulled up? And I'm like, bro, I don't even know if we can. Like, it's over. Like, he came for his bride, and we weren't a part of his bride. Everything that I'd ever thought about doing in my life, wanting in my life, pursuing in my life, I thought it doesn't matter. The only thing that God cares about is your relationship with him, is if you have faith in him, is if you trust him, is if you really trust him. I don't mean just, oh, I say I trust him and then I go do X, Y, Z. No, it's if you say you trust the Lord and then you obey the Lord, right? Faith without works is dead, right? If you get in that Bible, right, and you reading, and then on top of that, you're obeying. When somebody tells you that, let's go do this. No, you're like, no. I got something that me and God didn't talked about this. Like, yeah, I can't be doing whatever it is. Like, I'm telling you, that's how I felt in that moment. And my entire day, and the next 4 days, I couldn't stop thinking about this dream. And I'm just like, man, like in the blink of an eye, life can be done. And I mean done. The rapture is going to come. Jesus Christ is going to come back, and that's it. He's going to ask if you obeyed. He's going to ask you what the actions were. He's going to ask you if you repented. He's going to ask you all of these questions. He's not caring about if you make $1 million. He's not caring about if you achieve this, if you make this team. He's going to care if you glorify his name. He's going to care about if you're praying. He's going to care about if when he puts something on your spirit, if you're doing that, he's going to care about those things. Because remember, the spirit matters more. How are you obeying God in your spirit? And then as you obey God in the spirit, the flesh follows. Right, but if you obey the flesh, then the spirit follows, and then you die in the spirit, and you don't want to be dead in that spirit. We're in the end times, and he'll be back before you know it. Luke 12:40.